Happy Friday, everyone. Dan Harrison. I'm just trying to figure out my screen here, and there we go. Now I can kind of see what's going on. How's everybody doing? It's Friday afternoon. It is April 17th. It's been another tough COVID week. We've been running in the 111, I think maybe on Tuesday we had for participants. And I'm just looking down at the number of people that are signing on, and we're just at just about 40 people right now. I think maybe some more will be joining us, but these Fridays have been reserved to uh, spend a little time just thinking about the people that make this magnificent organization work and the special talents that our staff in all areas of the organization bring to us. The idea was originally that we'd have a day, we thought Friday before the weekend, to kind of um, decompress a little bit from what has been certainly a very stressful and uh, time of anxiety. And this is I think our fourth one that we've done, and we've got some special guests for you today. Um, uh, I Most of us love spring, and today I went over to New Boston Street just because I wanted to just look at the building. I had an errand to do at the post office, and I drove over to uh, to our home office, and I didn't go in. Sharon Pitts, don't worry. But And I took some pictures, if Greg can pull them up now, of the Cleveland pear trees, which are very special to me. This tree border on the which really the north side of our parking lot, New Boston Street, is a strip of space that uh, about 6 or 7 years ago, there were no trees really there at all, and we decided that we were going to plant something that would start to grow and provide some shade in the future. And this is the time of year that they are in their most brilliant glory. Uh, and I look forward to it every year, and it always falls just about around our walk. Some years they're blooming for the walk, and some years they bloom the week after. Um, uh, and it just makes me think spring is a time for renewal and hope and rebirth. And the property looks great. It misses us. It made me sad to look at the space and the empty parking lot, and to think that we're all scattered to the winds. But I was reminded of our our core values, Cubics, community, unity, belonging, innovation, collaboration, sharing. We've been talking about that over the past few weeks since this whole thing began. I've said to people that, and I've said to all of us, to you, that uh, you don't wait for times of grave distress to start to practice core values. If you're serious about putting them into action, you do it all the time. And I believe fully and firmly that we have done that at New Path, which is why our response to this COVID-19 has been what it has been. The coming together, the unity. We call this our unity forum. It's that important. And I threw in that we got this, because we got this, and we're going to get through this. I know we will, and we'll do it because we're banding together at this time of need. Um, there are so many ways that um, we could react and respond as an organization. Uh, they say that you can't always choose the circumstances of life that come to you, but you can choose your response to them. And I am so proud, and just so just overwhelmed by the stories of bravery and heroism, and and the kinds of examples of people going the extra mile all across this organization each and every day to help and to benefit the clients that we serve and their families. And during this time when we're all uh, inside out and upside down and full of anxiety and wondering what's going on, the fact that we are able to prioritize the health and well-being of one another and of our clients and of our families, it really is it's a thing to be proud of. So great job, guys. And I always have to say, the staff that are working with our clients in the programs deserve the highest honors. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so pleased. But today we are going to be talking to. We have three people on in line to share with us a little bit about their story. You know most of them, or probably all of them. And the first one I'm going to be speaking with is Bessie Simba from. She's a residential manager of Salem Street, and Bessie's a very special staff person. She's been with us for 12 years and 5 months. I couldn't believe it had been that long. And unfortunately, Bessie's her camp. We had a little bit of a technical issue, but Bessie, you're there on the line with us. Are you hearing me? Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. I can hear you too. Um, I think I said to you when we were getting ready for this, your picture that's showing here on the screen that everyone can see is just, you look gorgeous. And you know, it was from 2017 at our annual celebration. You
Oh,
remember
that's
that?
nice.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
You and Michelle Bellevue that year uh, were there to represent the very special people and the staff of Salem Street. And I remember it was kind of my idea. Not that I'm taking, well, I guess I am taking credit for it, but um, people felt like that maybe if we highlighted your program there, that it might be a little bit, not to say depressing or a downer, because but you deal with a very special population, don't you? A very fragile group of people. And can you
Yes.
just talk a little bit about what's been going on in a program where you have five people that are so medically fragile and so prone to getting all kinds of medical complications, pneumonia and all sorts of things on a regular and almost routine basis. How are you guys managing there?
Um, we are managing very well, surprisingly. When all this started, I think the first week I did not sleep, just thinking of our clients here. Like you said, we have a different population here. They are elderly and they are fragile. So I am worried every day about this place. But so far we are good. So we are managing because staff, we, like I always say, we have great staff here. They come every day, nothing phases them. Nothing has changed. Whatever they were doing before this situation, they come, they continue to do the same thing. So myself, I've been wondering, I'm like, I know some of our individuals, they don't talk. And it worries me that do they really know what is going on? Do they really understand? Because this was a drastic change. It just came like overnight. We were distancing ourselves from them a little bit. And then all of a sudden, now we are coming in here wearing masks. So I
Yeah.
wonder, like, what is going on in their head? What are they thinking? And
Mhm.
right now, we cannot go close to them, touch their hands and hug them, the things that we used to do. Right now, everything is on hold. We cannot do that. So I always wonder every day, I'm like, what are they thinking? Do they really understand what is going on? So
You know,
every day we just come here, we try to do our best, try to make things normal as much as we can, just to make them comfortable.
Bessie, not everybody maybe that's watching this today understands really, sort of how Salem Street works. And the referrals that we get from Salem Street, these are people, men and women that have been in nursing homes, haven't they? And because of their medical needs, not necessarily because they're of a certain age, but because they require a very high degree of nursing and oversight.
Yes,
Isn't that right?
yes, yes, yes.
And being placed into a community setting is very challenging because in it I don't think most of our staff realize just how much the staff at Salem Street have to be. You're all practically nurses. The complex the medication regimes and all of the special care that needs to be given to these people is pretty robust and extreme, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is very intense. It is very involving. That's why, like these days, I just pray. I said, God, don't let any one of them get sick. I don't want any one of them to go to the hospital.
Right, right.
So
And
it's like we are just careful, whatever we are doing. We are just going an extra mile just to protect them.
yeah, you know, I've learned over the years, and this is, I think, why one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight your program in 2017 is because I don't know, this maybe isn't the right way to say it, but people, you've lost more people from your program than any other program in one of our autism programs where people come to us when they're 22, they're 30, they're 35. These aren't people that are dying on a regular basis, but you guys, you lose people there, don't you? It's part of what you do, but what seems so special to me is that families that are part of this will say that you have given them a home family during the last however many months or years of their lives that they have left when they come into the community setting. And that's what your staff do, isn't that right?
Yes, it is. It is. Like I
So
say, when they come here, it's just extra care that we give.
Michelle was telling me about Easter. I wonder if Greg could pull up some pictures that I had a chance to see. Michelle said that you put together an Easter celebration for the people that were there this past Sunday that was just amazing. The families, I think Michelle said that one family member, somebody said that they didn't know it could be so nice in a group home.
Ye-
Can you tell us
Yes,
about what you did for people?
yes. What I did was, I was just thinking, I'm like, in this abnormal situation, what can I do at least to try to bring some normalcy a little bit into them? So I knew Easter was coming. So Michelle thought I was crazy when she called me. She said, where are you? I said, in Market Basket. She's like, what are you doing? I thought you got a lot of food. You must have food in those houses. I said, yeah, but I'm looking for special food for Easter. So I went around, I gathered everything I wanted, and I didn't tell anyone, even in my house. So Sunday morning, I just got up, I gathered my dishes and everything from my house. My husband said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to work. And my daughter was like, so who's going to cook here? I said, where I am going, my individuals need me more than you people in this house. You can take care of yourself. So I picked up my things and I left. So I got here, I spent all day, I was cooking. Because I thought, I'm like, for us, we have our families. For them, they cannot see their families in this situation.
Yeah.
They have not had visitors for a long time. If it was a normal situation, I know their families will come with flowers, with cards, with food for them. So this was the time I thought I should do something special for them, just to give back to them to say, we are here. We are your family. We are the first family before their real family.
Yeah.
That's why I put that dinner together, and they enjoyed it very much.
Bessie, we're looking at the pictures that you shared, and they're just beautiful. And I, I'm just I'm so proud of you and all the staff that are there. That even in the middle of this terrible pandemic that we're experiencing, that you left your family on Sunday and you came in to create this wonderful family experience for the people at Salem Street. And I just, if there's anybody out in the New Path firmament that's not just blown away by that, I don't know what's wrong with them, because it's just amazing. And your staff, are you having any problem with staff that are willing to not show up, or afraid of during this time? You've had a hard time with staffing?
No, not that they are afraid or anything. We have one or two here, they work for the state, and the state is changing their schedule. So that might affect us here, but so far all our staff, they are showing up on their shifts. No
Yeah.
issues.
Wow. I hope that you will just express to all of the people there just how much we love them and how much we care, and how proud we are of how you've been able to manage such a medically fragile and just vulnerable population, more so than any other of our locations, in such a special way, and not just manage it, but to do it in a way that brings love and humanity and kind empathy to the people that are living there. I mean, it's really extraordinary, Bessie, and you're doing a great job. We're so happy. We're so lucky to have you.
Thank you so much. And we have one family member, Barbara's brother. Barbara joined us here a couple of months ago. She has not been here for a year. So when she saw those pictures and I told him about the Easter, he was very touched. He said, I didn't know things like that happens in group homes.
Yeah.
That a table can be set like that for people to eat. I'm like, it happens at Salem Street, at New Path.
I remember the first person that passed away that moved into to Salem Street, because I remember opening up that program many years ago. I want to say, I don't know why I'm thinking 2007, or maybe it was even early. Do you know when it opened? Do you remember?
2007.
Yeah, around there.
Sorry.
And so it was this gentleman that had moved in, and he was, he had major issues, and he was nearing the end of life. And I remember it was late one evening, and somebody said, well, you better go if you want to say goodbye, because he's probably going to pass away. And I've told this story many times, but I came in and I entered the house, and it was like 10 o'clock at night or something. And I went down to the end of the hallway where his bedroom was, and the staff there didn't know that I was there even. And I was standing outside the room at the doorway, at the threshold of the room, and I watched as two staff were attending to him. And I watched as a staff person took Vaseline and put it on his lips, and they were just comforting him, and I have never forgotten that. Just the kindness. And I thought to myself, when I am on the brink of passing from this life and passing from this world, I pray that I have people as kind and as loving as the staff at Salem Street that I saw that night. And I think some of those staff are still there. You
Yes,
guys are
yes,
incredible, incredible people. We're so
yes.
lucky to have you. Bessie, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for everything you're doing there.
Thank
We're
you.
all so proud, and I hope if your staff aren't all watching this, I hope maybe you'll make them do it at a virtual staff meeting or something, because they need to know just how much you all mean to this organization. And and thank you for leading it, because
Thank you.
of your leadership. You've been terrific. Stay
Thank
healthy, stay safe. We need you, and we need your staff to stay well and to keep everybody there at Salem Street healthy.
you. Okay, thank you.
All right, take good care.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's if you've never been there to Salem Street, if you've never, seen those staff, they just, you'd think it would be too much. You'd think that after the second or the third or the fourth person passing away, it would just get to them. But it's a mindset. It's what they do, and families that have families who have had people living there that have passed away still keep contact with some of the staff, and it's this idea that in a nursing home, and I know now because of my experience with where my mother is, but it's not a family setting. It's an institutional living, and the feedback we almost always get is that it it becomes their family for the last few years that some of our clients have on this earth, and it's the men and women that are working at Salem Street, and leaders like Bessie that make it such a special place. Well, I'm glad everybody there is okay, because that is certainly a location that could be exposed to the risks of COVID-19. Okay, let me thank Bessie. Now, I mentioned on Tuesday that I had a chance to catch Brian Ellsworth in one of his virtual learning, or his virtual learning with folks. There he is.
How are you doing, Dan?
Shout out. I talked to him earlier today, and he said, "Oh, yeah, thanks for the shout out. It was gonna increase people's. I mean, I didn't know I had that kind of maybe I'm what do they call them? One of those influencers, one of those YouTube influencers or something."
You are, especially when I'm putting these videos together, because people listen to what you say. So we definitely we want all the help we can get.
Well, I'm glad people are listening. Brian, you've been with us for almost 6 years now.
Yes. Yep. April 28th.
And people might know you because you're almost always every year one of the highest earners in the fundraisers and in our walk, and you are an extraordinary public speaker. I remember hearing you the first time, and I said, "Boy, I better watch my back." You are somebody who will give me a run for my money, that's for sure. When I heard you at the one of the job camp celebrations, which you've been so instrumental in shaping and growing, and the graduation, you typically give sort of the keynote, I guess you'd say. You are a big sports fan, and you've got lots of
I don't know how you can tell.
You got lots of connections that you mobilize every year to help you raise money for New Path, for our walk. And I thought it would be kind of neat to hear from you, and to have you tell us kind of what some of the stuff is that you're most excited about, what's going on, like how are we engaging people, and what are people saying, and just fill us in a little bit for those of us who don't know.
Well, as we know, and there's a lot of us out there that are, a lot of the staff that are going out to homes, and that's obviously the most important thing for us. We need quality people out there stepping up. But there's also the other side of it as well. We have the virtual programming side, and that's something that Ted Horn and Brett Riley, I mean, everybody in the executive team has been working on, and then it trickles down to everybody in the staff who are now putting together programs. So the things I'm excited about is the ability to bring everyone together and connect everybody who are now, we're all separated. So we've come up with everybody's got great programs coming. I know there's a morning meeting, which starts today off great at 10 a.m. Emily Walk has done a great job with that. I think they had 40 or even more than 40 people in there the other day. And we also have like Mike's noontime shout out, which brings a lot of people together right around lunchtime, which is great. But some of the things I'm really, really excited about myself that I'm running is Bry's Live. Brides Live. uh, the Brides Live setup was something that I came up with because I was hoping. When in talking with people and doing wellness checks, I realized that there were a lot of people that were just down and feeling, kind of just, depressed. So I created Brides Live to try to create a program where I could dress up as superhero characters. I could bring on friends dressed up as characters. Maybe some staff are going to come on dressed up and kind of give everybody a laugh. And in doing so, I came up with a trivia idea. So we have a Where's Bri each week on Monday at 1 p.m. I'm going to show a clue on a page, and it's going to have a picture of where I went. And you have to keep track through each show of where I'm going. So at the end, if you can tell me where I went all the way through Brides Live, you're entered for a grand prize. That's what I'm trying to do there. But we also have separate prizes throughout the week too. I'm doing a trivia show on Thursday in which we've
Can I
got,
just have a question? Sorry.
yeah.
Where did you did you just happen to have a Batman costume in your closet? Like, is that like,
It was my
is it like superheroes? Is it something you kind of do on the side or what?
it's my kids. My kids are all into superheroes, and growing up, I really wasn't into them that much. But Batman was the one that I really liked. And my son, he kind of told me the idea. He says, "Daddy, you should be Batman and save everybody." And I said, "Well, why do you say that?" And he says, "Well, everybody's sick." He says, "Everybody's going to help save people." He says, "You could be Batman and save people." So I kind of went with that idea and said, "You know what? I'll kind of be new Bat. We need new types of employees right now, the people who are really stepping it up. So I need a new Batman."
Well, you should know that your kids definitely are an asset because they're certainly cute to see their cameos. At least the one I watched. And it's pretty cool that it was their suggestion. So I'm just curious, like how many more superhero characters we were gonna say. It was a pretty good costume, I gotta say.
It was the only mistake I made in the first one. I was going to try to make it look like it wasn't me, but I wore the same red shirt underneath that I had on earlier in in the script.
You were pretty good though. You were like, oh, I don't know where Brian is. Oh.
Well, people liked it. We got a great response, Dan. I have 9 houses that have actually requested for me to come out and to kind of wave from across the street in the Batman outfit and say hi to everybody. So next week, starting on Monday, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to dress on up and just try to raise some spirits.
Before you go on and tell us what other things you're doing, I wish you'd talk about a little bit about how the challenge of getting people engaged because the first, I mean, I know because we're doing these forums, right? And we've certain numbers of people that show up for them and sign on and care to connect. But it's so part of it's making sure people know it's happening, right? So they can expect it and they're aware of the schedule. But then there's also the technology. Do people have, the computers? Do they have the Wi-Fi? All of that? What kinds of things have you been doing to kind of help people kind of, get up to speed and be there for it?
Well, as a team, the outreach team, employment is doing the same thing, but the outreach team James and Amy are running is part of that. What we're doing in that is asking and kind of reaching out to find out what people have. And we're finding that there are a lot of people who don't have computers, tablets, or
So this is
Wi-Fi
reaching out to the
connections.
clients that have been displaced. You're
Yes.
reaching out to their
Yeah.
families.
Yeah, we're
Good.
reaching out. We're calling every day. There's a group of us making phone calls, and when we find out someone doesn't have that connection or the ability to connect with us through Wi-Fi connection, we're making a group list of that, and we're coming up with different solutions. I know Ted Horn is going to be loaning out some tablets so that some of the clients that really want to get involved can get involved. We um, we also um, we also have been reaching out to people because sometimes people just aren't interested in it and say, "Oh, well, it's not for me. I don't want to do that." And we're kind of asking them to tell us what interests them. What do they want to hear about? What do they want to talk about? And then
Mhm.
we go to our staff and we start creating a group that's going to engage with them, that's going to make them say, "Hey, I can't wait to go on Thursday or Friday." So
That's wonderful. I don't know what other organizations are doing, but I'll say that I'm a parent, and if I've got a kid in a program, I sure would want it to be with New Path. I mean that the days have got to stretch long and boring for week after week of time that's been stretching on. I mean, I know a couple of our board members have kids that we serve, and you know, you just after a while, if they're home, you just start to, you know, just imagine the kind of monotony that anybody would be. You were talking about how it's also increased some social connections between the clients because
Yes.
you've done this kind of you know, sort of festive kind of competition every week, and you're calling each other, or they're saying, I'm going to get you next week, or what?
Yep. We have a Thursday afternoon trivia show at 1 o'clock that we're trying to build on now. And this past week, we had quite a few people who were engaging with each other, and then afterwards started texting each other and asking, "Well, I'm gonna answer 6 questions next week to your 4, or my 3 to your 2." And a couple of our clients I have group chats with, so that's where I noticed it and thought it was really, really neat that everybody was connecting and talking with each other because it is stressful right now.
It is stressful, and beyond that, when I called you earlier, you said, "Oh, my voice is hoarse because I've been called." Beyond this, you're also doing calls, individual calls to families. Is that right?
Yes,
Or
that's we're doing calls every day. We're trying to reach out not only to make sure that people are, feeling well, feeling okay, but also because with the increased anxiety right now and stress and of being alone all the time, we want to make sure that people aren't feeling so down that they want to, hurt themselves or do something somebody else that could hurt someone else. So that's what we're really looking for. We're trying to really reach out and make a difference for all of our population that really, really needs it. I mean, we're all stressed.
we are, and don't you think that's kind of what it's the human it's the human part of us that craves connection with others, and that's what we're all trying to do in one way or another, isn't it? I mean, that's what we're trying to do with our staff and families through these forums, and letting them know that, you know, you may feel isolated, it may seem isolating, but you still remain part of something bigger than yourself, and so those calls, I'm sure, mean so much to you. I know you're doing job camp. What Talk to us about job camp. What's going on with that?
Well, Job Camp, we had originally started on a GoToWebinar platform. But I didn't like the way that was working because we wanted to have more of a class setup where we could see everybody's faces at the same time and we could engage with everybody at the same time. So we tried to do a Zoom one today. We had a couple issues where we got kicked off a little bit in the middle of it. But that just goes back to the building of this program that we're doing right now. It's going to get better every week. It's going to get better every day. We're learning from our mistakes. And what I want to say to everybody out there is please don't get stressed. Please hang with us because every time we find an error somehow or I made a mistake today, I know what to do to fix it. I talked to the IT guys. Connor has been a huge help for me. Kevin Tucker reached out to me earlier to help me today. So please stick with us because we are going to figure it out. And we've got some real good quality program coming for you guys. I'm not kidding.
Well, you sound like a lot of what I've been saying to the families. Be patient because we're trying to figure so much of this out as we go along, and I think that's the, you know, it's what it you know, you try something new, and you're almost, it's almost baked into it that you're gonna make mistakes. It's part of the learning. You know, we talked at the beginning of this year about wanting to really prioritize improving our virtual, you know, competency. You know, we would sometimes do call-ins for some meetings, and board members that couldn't make it would sometimes call in, but you know, they'd be this voice on a phone, like to the side of the room, and you'd kind of forget they were there. And we wanted to create a more, you know, sort of digitally competent group of people. And of course, I didn't ask for the COVID to have us do that.
No.
But look at what we've done, and look at what you and your colleagues have done to just bring into action, and not being afraid to try these new things. And you do, we learn, this doesn't work, this works, or let's improve upon this, and we're all trying to do that, and that's just great spirit. So you're still having people, you have people participating in job camp and some of these other things.
Yeah, and we're opening it up. Normally, Job Camp is set up in a way where when you're in the employment program and that's your main focus, you would go into Job Camp, and then we help you get into the community, prepare you for the community work. We're kind of opening it up a little bit now because there's a lot of people out there who may have had a plan to go into Job Camp, but now we have no day program, so they don't know what to do. So we want them to come in. We want them to learn. I know I saw a couple new faces in there today. And I hope they'll be back next week, because I think if we all come together, work together, when this all comes to an end, and it will come to an end, when
Yeah.
it comes to an end, the world comes back. We all got to work. We all got to go out there and be prepared. So that's what we're here for, and that's what we want to do.
You know, I should have said at the beginning, of the outset, but you're another veteran of our annual celebration, and you've got three little ones at home, don't you? You know, you're not just doing all of this in absentia of a family and managing all that. How's it going? How are you doing with everything? How's your
It's
family?
it's a stressful. I can tell you right off the bat, my wife is a godsend. She's my angel. Without her, I mean, she's turned into a teacher for the whole day for three kids. I'm her assistant. She's the one who's in charge, and
Yeah.
it's frustrating because the routines are different. My daughter's had a little bit of a problem trying to adjust to it, but she's working hard at it. She's doing well with it. I think it just comes down to everybody realizing that when you get anxious and we're trying to adjust to new schedules, you got to take a deep breath and just remember we're all going through it. And that's what I'm trying to tell my kids. It's not just you, it's all of us. Everyone's stressed, everyone's frustrated. So,
Right.
but I think everybody, I think we're doing well. I think we're doing pretty well.
You have always got such a positive, upbeat attitude. You really do. You look at you smile right now. You're making me smile just because you're giggling and laughing. It's really it's contagious. And I just I don't know what you do or if you'd have any advice for the rest of us to you know we're all in this together and all of that, but you just however you do it, we
I,
appreciate it.
it's like I told on the first episode of Rise Live, I was telling people a good way to find some comfort in every day is two heroes. Find somebody who's your hero every day, someone who makes you feel better, someone who goes out of their way for you, maybe even just gives a phone call. And then be somebody else's hero for that one day too. Make sure you say hello to someone. Call that neighbor next door that maybe you don't like, maybe you don't want to talk to them, but you know they're alone. They need it. It makes a big difference. So I kind of think that that's a good way every day to kind of just calm yourself, keep the anxiety down, and realize that we're all in this together.
Brian, I think that your performance and everything we see from you proves that you understand that sometimes the best way to climb out of, you know, whatever you've got going on is to be of service to others, to
Yeah,
give back, to do for others that are less fortunate. And that can be just such a great way to kind of escape, you know, your headspace because that's not always the best place to be. Well, you're just you're terrific, and everybody else that's working with you. Um,
awesome
big
team.
plaudits. You guys are the way you jumped into it and embraced it. And I mean, it's one thing to kind of trudge through, like you know, what's been you know sort of dictated to you, but the kind of inventive, creative stuff that we're seeing is really, really exciting, and we're really proud of you, and so glad that you're representing the organization in such an important way.
Thank you. Remember though, it takes a team. Takes a team. I can't take the credit, all the credit there. I've got wonderful people I work with. Lisa Carey works with me every day. She's always, I mean, she's my other side of my brain. Our whole
Yeah.
employment team, Jan Zing, I mean, Greg, all of them. They're phenomenal. I can't say enough.
And hearing that you've had the IT support and you know
Yep.
Emily and clinical and it's really you know I think we're going to be learning from and sort of celebrating some of these small you know sort of behind the scenes stuff, not that this is small by any means, but we'll learn more as time goes on, and even after this thing is behind us, just kind of this internal discovery of how uh, you know how we bonded together during this time, and the important ways that we created opportunity even during this time of crisis for our families and our clients.
Yeah.
Brian, you're terrific.
We're going to have a better organization in the end, Dan. I tell you, we're going to be stronger and better as we get through this. The technology is going to be there. It's going to be better.
100% agree. Well, please take care of yourself. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And just so you know, I'm going to be watching Bryce live. I may not always get it live.
Okay. Want to make sure. I want to come to you.
That's it. I didn't tell you to do that, but I'm glad you did. That was a
Nope,
good.
I had it ready.
Thank you, Brian, so much. Take care. Have a great weekend. Okay. All right. Well, put a smile on my face. Good, good, good. All right. So we have one final staff guest that I've been asked Greg to bring up now, Lisa LaRock, who works in our business office, and there she is, looking just perfectly coiffed and perfectly made up and beautiful. And
I wouldn't go that.
you want to what?
I said I wouldn't go. I
You-
look perfectly.
I don't know if something's up with the sound. We lost just a little bit of you there. I just want to tell everybody that poor Lisa, an hour and a half ago, did not know she was going to be doing this. it was something that had been on my mind because Lisa, who by the way has been with us now for almost 5 years, just 2 months short of 5 years, and works as our director of payroll. What's your exact title?
Payroll and benefits manager.
Payroll and benefits manager. The fact that we all have money in our checking account or wherever our money goes on today, which is payday, is thanks to this beautiful person right here with us today. um, I asked Lisa to join us because I think it's important that we remember that this organization is a complex and has got many moving parts, and you know, we don't always think about all the disparate pieces of it that are assembled to make things work the way they do. And we certainly can't, you know, I don't think anybody would challenge the fact that having a consistent and reliable pay, you know, every 2 weeks is important. I don't think anybody ever questions whether or not they're going to wake up on a Friday morning and the money's not going to be there. And that is thanks to you. And on a good day, in a good week, before COVID was even something that anybody had ever heard of, it was challenging because you're trying to pull in data from all over the field, from so many different managers and directors and people that have got all different kinds of schedules. And now what we've asked you to do is to take all that complexity that existed before, and we've added like a bunch more. In fact, I think when I called you up today, I was like, "Do you hate me?" Because we're giving some staff, you know, you know, $2 more an hour to work in face-to-face residential. If you're working in our care center, it's something different. You've got staff that are using, you know, different, you know, formulas, vacation and sick time, and some staff that, you know, originally we, you know, let you go into the red with your vacation time or sick time, and now some people being furloughed. And I don't know how you do it, but I just wish you'd tell us a little bit about what you're doing to stay sane. You look good, so you must be
Thank you.
healthy. I mean,
Thank
is everything all right? Or you're doing okay?
I am doing well, yes. Yeah. It's just my husband and I here. His office is in the basement. We have 2 rooms down there. He claimed it when we bought the house. So good. I'm glad he's working in the basement. I'm up in our bedroom. So there's a floor between us. We meet at lunch and then we see each other after work. So that's going well.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was very complex, a lot of manual entries. You know, I just started early, made sure I got it done, double checked everything, and it kind of fell into place. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. You know, once I added those codes, it was just the matter of checking and just entering, and that's what I
Well,
did for 2 days.
you know what? You're way too. You simplify it way too. I just want to make sure that anybody watching right now and anybody's ever wondered how payroll happens, you know, oh, it just sort of fell into place.
Yeah.
I don't think this is something that falls into place. This is somebody, you, who has this rich and nuanced understanding of not just the shifts that people are working, but who they are and where they are and what the rhythms of each particular program is. If you're somebody that can understand, you look at somebody, you say, "Oh, that doesn't look right. Something must be wrong with this. This is Salem Street. That's never happens in Salem Street. This is Angie Road. This never happens in Angie." You know all these intricacies, and so you are in a unique and very special place to be able to then absorb the other stuff that we've thrown upon you, and with such grace and such poise and such aplomb. Um, seriously, you know you've been incredible, and
Thank
um, so you this has prompted something else because we realized that, oh my God, if anything should happen to you,
you.
I mean that would be a terrible thing because we love you and we never want
Right.
anything to happen to you.
But you love
But
money too. I get
if
it.
you were to get sick, like what would we do? Tell us what you're doing now to kind of help us,
I
you know.
haven't I haven't been out of the house. We went for a ride the other night. You know, I literally went from the house to the car, drove around for 10 minutes, and I was like, wow, trees are blooming. This is really strange. Um, and I haven't been anywhere. I food shopped probably 3 big food orders before everything shut down because I kind of felt it was going to go this way.
Yeah.
Bill had called me in and said, hey, you know, if we have to shut down, are you going to be able to do this at home? And then, of course, your mind races, okay, what do I need? How long is this going to be? I need to prepare for a length of time. So I've got, you know, 2 toner cartridges, many reams of paper, because it's not just the payroll, it's other things that need to be printed for audits and, you know, all that. So I have my old, you know, adding machine here that works quite well for me. So I brought that with me. And it's just the office is here, but it's still different. You know, it's quiet. I don't have any interaction with anybody for the most part. I video chat with, you know, my team every now and again, but we just,
Mhm.
it's just quiet.
But like you said, you don't have to do your hair every day.
No, no, I need it colored bad, but we'll get there one
I
day.
should, I should have said that, but I just thought it was so cute when I first called you. Were like, I haven't blow dried my hair for 2 weeks. I think a lot of people are in the same boat, but once again, who's the
See?
smart person here? I don't have to
Exactly.
worry about my hair getting too long, do I? Um, we started to do some. You're now doing some cross training, right? Did I hear that that Annie's doing some sort of? I bet she doesn't think it's just stuff that looks like it's just falling into place. She must look at you and just be like, "Oh my God."
So we were doing Teams video calls, 3 different ones. The first one I think was 2 hours and 44 minutes, and then another one was like a couple hours. And this one was unique because it was new to me, adding all these codes, adding the extra $2 because we're separating them. And I think, you know, once that calmed down, because I'm not gonna have the retro going forward now because it's just gonna be the straight time with the extra $2. It'll be a little bit easier for her. And as we all know, Ann's smart as a whip, so she's gonna pick anything up anyway. So I think next payroll, it will be a little bit easier to show her. I'll have more time to like really go into detail with things. So
Well, we are. None of us is. You know, no one department, no one program can extricate itself from the rest of the organization. We talk a lot about the heroes that we have working with the people that are actually sick and the people that are you know, most likely to be sick or to get sick and the staff that are exposed to that. But we're all of us essential in some way or another, you know, in managing, you know, the daily routines of this organization. And I'll tell you, if there was ever a time anybody had to worry about whether or not they were going to get paid, should I write should I schedule the mortgage payment or will my check be there? We don't ever worry about that. Lisa, thanks to you, and I know that you're just you know you're one example of our business office that is doing so many things behind the scenes to make sure that this organization continues to move forward and that we have, you know, credit cards that we can still use for emergency supplies because the bills are being paid and the electricity's not being shut off and that things continue in some degree. But payroll's huge, and
mhm.
you are just doing an exceptional job. And I just thought people should hear it. I hope there's a lot of hearts going up for you because
Thank you.
you keep money in our accounts. So. Um, is there anything you need from us? Is there anything that you think that you'd like to see or that would help you in any way?
I'd like to see some, maybe to share the URL with Brian's you know, that he's the superhero. I'd love to see some of that. That sounds like fun to watch.
But check out our YouTube channel. Just go
Okay.
to New Path Inc. on YouTube. We have a whole
Okay.
channel. But I know that there's been a kind of a cry for some of the other programs. I got to get on one of these morning meetings. If you haven't seen it, I've been told that it's pretty exceptional. Maybe we'll have Emily come next week to kind of talk a little bit more about it. But I appreciate your interest in that. We'll get you that, and anybody else that is interested, check out the YouTube channel. Thank you. Thanks for agreeing to do this. I said, you don't have to. I'll try to find somebody else if you're not. You said, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Is, it typifies, it encapsulates how much we value and appreciate people and their willingness of spirit to do whatever it takes during this time of need. And this is important. I think people seeing you will be a great thing too. It was nice. I was happy to see you. I'm glad
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much for everything you're doing. And I told you not to leave the house.
I won't.
Be
I
safe.
will. Thanks, you too.
We look forward to seeing you when we're all back together again.
Hopefully soon.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank
week. Take
You
care.
too, Dan. Thank you.
Thanks for paying me.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. This has gone on a little longer than what we've done in the past. Well, I had a good time. I feel better. This is just 3 of the masses of people that we have out there that are just that every one of them we could do a profile, encourage, we could do a profile and examine just how important and essential they are to this organization. For those of you who joined us for the call, thank you. I think it demonstrates your dedication and your commitment and your sense of solidarity with this organization. We've got to stay together. We got to stay tight and close and lean on one another because there'll be dark times, but there'll be good times. And please, please, please maintain your social distance. Remember, wash your hands, wear masks if you're going out. Don't let up now. We've come too far to get careless or lazy or to think that that we can cut a corner. We got to continue the upward trek, and we will get through it. We will. Greg, is there anything I need to mention or anything that you think I should?
Yeah, Dan, just one, and that was, I was asked if we could just remind all staff that are watching that a communication went out today regarding the ongoing critical need for vigilance around PPE and the steps to take regarding temperatures and wearing a mask on shift and so just to remind staff to ensure you read your email and are taking the proper precautions during this time. That was really the only thing that we had to mention.
All right, read your email, guys. Don't get lazy regarding the safety precautions that we've learned to use. Yeah, I wish you all the best and all the love in my heart from New Path, guys. Take care of yourself, okay? And we'll talk next week. Bye now.